In this video, I'll show you how to install ConnectClips, a self-hosted system that turns full sermons into short vertical clips for YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and Facebook Reels. The idea is simple. Paste a sermon link or upload a file, let the computer transcribe it, have Claude suggest the best moments, then export ready-to-post clips with vertical reframing and captions. This video is just the install. Once it's installed, the workflow is the same on every platform, so I'll cover actually using ConnectClips in a separate video. Before you start, gather a few things. You need a computer that can stay on while the clips are processing. So you need 16 gigabytes of RAM is the practical minimum, and I recommend around 100 gigabytes of hard drive space because the sermons recordings are fairly large. You'll also need an Anthropic key because ConnectClips uses Claude to choose clips, moments, and write the short hook titles. The cost is usually very tiny, but you do need billing enabled on your Anthropic account. Also, you'll need to choose an admin password during the install. And then finally, optionally, Tailscale is optional, but it lets volunteers open ConnectClips from their own laptops or phones without exposing the app to the public internet. The link to the ConnectClips GitHub repo is in the description. This is where you'll find the installer commands, the manual install guides, and the latest documentation. Before we paste any commands, the first thing to decide is which install path matches your computer. If your machine has the NVIDIA GPU with at least 8 gigabytes of VRAM, use the Linux or Windows WSL 2 path. That's the production tested setup that we use at Connect Community Church, and it uses CUDA as a fast transcription. If you're on Windows 11 with AMD or Intel graphics, including a mini PC with integrated Radeon or Intel graphics, use the Windows with native path that uses Vulkan build or Whisper CPP for transcription and the Windows hardware encoder for exports. If you have Apple Silicon Mac M1 through M5, use a Mac path that uses Metal for transcription and Video Toolbox for export. If you don't have a strong GPU, ConnectClips can still work, but processing will take longer. For a church doing one sermon a week, that may still be totally fine. So the quick rule: NVIDIA equals WSL on Linux, AMD or Intel on Windows equals Windows native, Apple Silicon equals Mac. I've tried to keep the install process as easy as possible, as I know that people are very scared with the terminal, but it's not that hard because it's just one command once you've got all the prerequisites all set up. Once you've picked a path, the install starts with one command from the README. On the Windows native, open PowerShell as administrator and paste the PowerShell command. On Linux, WSL or Mac, open a terminal and paste the curl command. The Bootstrap does three things. It makes sure Git is installed, it clones the updates, the ConnectClip repo, and then it hands off to the right installer for your platform. The scripts are safe to run, again, if something goes wrong halfway through. So you can fix the issue and run the same command again. For NVIDIA path, I like to run NVIDIA SMI first. If it shows the GPU, WSL can see the Windows NVIDIA driver, and then you're ready. If it fails, update the NVIDIA driver on Windows before continuing. I will show you the NVIDIA path so that you can see what the install does. So just to make sure that everything's all good for your NVIDIA card and you can have everything work properly under the WSL environment, you want to start up your WSL environment, which I have here, and then we want to run, as I said, the commands. It's in the README for WSL to do the prerequisites, and then we want to run this to check and everything is good, to make sure that you've got the right version on there. And then the good command to run is to make sure that your NVIDIA driver can be seen from WSL. So you will need to run this nvidia.smi command here, and then you check the output here, and if you see the command and see your card and everything looks good, then everything will be fine when the install happens. So let's move on now to the install. So the install, we can go to the GitHub repository, and go to the install for the WSL install. Under the get started there. With the quick start there, and then you can just basically click the copy for the path that you want to do. So we're doing the Linux WSL NVIDIA, and so we copy that there, and then we can go back to our terminal here, and then we can paste it in on Windows with WSL. If you just right click the mouse button, it will paste it there, and that's a quick tip for that. And once you do that, this will start the bootstrap, and so away we go. It's going to install all of the lovely things that it needs to install. So what is it actually doing? Let's find out. It is installing everything and doing the grabbing all the repository from Git and everything like that. So it's doing the long part. The exact step names are slightly different on each platform, but the shape is the same. So it installs the system tools like Python, Node, FFmpeg, Git, and the service helpers that are needed for the operating system. And then it creates the Python environment for the backend and installs the AI and video processing dependencies. Then it downloads the model files for ConnectClip that needs for the transcription model and the whisper binaries, plus the YNet face detector. So it's at the point now for the Anthropic key, and I wasn't planning on showing you how to do this, but for some people it might be a little tricky to do that. So let me actually go through and find the key for you. So it is in the GitHub repo. If you go into the docs here up on the top here, you can see the in the docs section here. If you click docs, then there's a section here that says Anthropic API. So if you click on that, then it'll actually give you the instructions here, but I'm just going to quickly walk you through how that will actually go through. So what you need to do is go through to console.anthropic.com, okay, and then you're going to sign up if you don't have a Claude account. But if you do have a Claude account, then you can just sign in and get your Anthropic key. So I'm just going to sign in with my lovely Google account here, and that's fine. And I will actually show you the key, but I'm actually I'll burn the key before this video releases. So just so that you know the actual process of how to actually go in and create your key. So what you'll have to actually do is I need to go in. I'm not going to actually fund the account or add funds to it, but you just need to add the funds to the account. I just basically added $10 to the account, and $10 is going to last you a long time, because it's just pennies each sermon to actually go through and pick the clips for each sermon. So that's what you need to do. But in order to get your key, what we need to do is go through here down at the bottom here where it talks about manage, and you click manage there, and then you click API keys. And so we're going to click on API key, and I don't have any keys here because this is my personal account. So this is not the church account, but I will click here, and I'm going to create the key here. So we click create key, and then we're just going to name it. So we'll do Connect Community Test or ConnectClips. Test there, and then we can click add. Now this is going to show you your key. This is a secret key. You don't want this to be used anywhere else. If anyone uses this key, then they can go in and they can use your Anthropic account. So make sure that this does not get out in the wild, and you don't, if you are contributing to other places or use this someplace, you don't want this to get out. And so use this. This is a secret key. So we just need to do copy the key here. And then once we do that, we can go back to our thing here, and then we can get ready. Oh, look, the script has basically stopped. Oh no, what is going on? Don't worry about it, because as I mentioned before, you can run that bootstrap script again, and it'll just pick up wherever it left off. So we'll run the script again, and it should ask, it'll go through the beginning and run through everything, but it'll be quick because it's already done all the stuff, and it's going to ask for the key and then for my password, and then it's almost done on that. So okay, here we have the asking for the Anthropic key, and it's going to start with SK. We'll just paste that in and hit enter, and now I'm going to enter my password and hit enter, and then it's going to do a build, do a bunch of stuff, and then we are ready to go. And it looks like it has completed everything. So the next step is to actually go through and check things out. So now we open a browser, and we can go to localhost 87:8765, and then we can see if the ConnectClip banner loads and you see the sermon lists. Well, there aren't any sermons there, but if you see the system all up and going, then you are ready to go. At this point, the system's ready, so you can use it locally right now, add a sermon, let it process, and export clips. I'm not covering the workflow in this install video because it's the same on every platform, and that will be in the next video. So the final step is optional, but it's for remote access. So if you don't want to just run it locally on the machine, I recommend Tailscale because it gives you a private URL that only people on your tailnet can reach. And that means your volunteers can open ConnectClips from their laptop or phone, but you're not publishing an unauthenticated church tool to the open internet. So you need to install Tailscale on your Windows machine or whatever machine that you're using and sign into the it's good to create a church account and then serve the local ConnectClips port through Tailscale. So on Windows, the command to do that is tailscale serve --bg --https equals 443 and then http://localhost:8765. Then Tailscale serve status to see the private HTTPS URL. So once you do that, then you can send the .ts.net URL to the volunteers who should use the system. And if someone cannot open it, then they need to check that their Tailscale is connected and they have access to your tailnet. That's a whole other video that I might do because I had some trouble when people actually were working with getting our Tailscale stuff set up, but that's another whole video that you can troubleshoot with that. So that's the install. The quick recap: choose your hardware path, run the one-line bootstrap, enter your Anthropic key and admin password, wait for the installer, confirm the app opens at localhost 8765, and optionally expose it privately through Tailscale. So if something fails, don't panic. You can rerun the same bootstrap command after fixing the issue, or open the deploy guide and for your platform on the repository and GitHub, and the manual steps are there and troubleshooting notes are also there. So in the next video, I'll show you the volunteer workflow, adding a sermon, reviewing the suggested clips, trimming, choosing options, exporting, and scheduling the finished shorts. So I hope that you find this interesting, and we'll hopefully see you in the next video soon.